Hey, good morning, YouTube. Well, Queen Sugar, Season 2, Episode 14. All right, it opens up on this sad note where Ralph Angel has just been told news that Blue may not, possibly even, is probably not his son. Although it's not been confirmed it's not his son yet. To me, the first thing should have happened is Darla should have went to the hospital. I thought at one point she was going to the hospital to get a DNA test. They need to be positive about these kind of things. In fact, I would have got the DNA test before I even talked to him, but because he's very in love with his son, he's raised Blue as his own, and I guess it does make a difference if the child is your own child. In other words, will things change in his mind if Blue is not his biological son? Now, it shouldn't. You say you love Blue. You love Blue, the kid. You gonna stop loving him because he's not your biological son? No, but it takes time, and so he's going through. Ralph is devastated over this news. All right, so he takes off. He's riding around his truck, as far as we know. Darla is calling him, trying to get him to understand, to at least communicate with her, to talk about it. I don't know about the timing of that, putting that on him that way. Although I guess it would have been wrong to go ahead and marry him without him knowing. Eventually it will come out. But a lot of people, it comes out and their kids are in their 20s. So I don't know. I'm reserving my opinion on that. Okay, so next thing is two farmers show up at the mill. They're telling Charley that they have been threatened, that if they do business with her, the laundries will pull their leases. So apparently most of the farmers, all of them, we know that the Bartoloons own their farm, but as far as we know, the other farmers are all leasing. They have long-term leases from the Landrys. The Landrys own all the land. They're saying that if you mill with Charley Bartoloon, I will pull your leases. In other words, throw them off their own farms. Other farms, a lease is like you farm the land, but a lease can be a 100-year lease. Okay. So they confront her and tell her that. Charley's got to come up with a plan B, and quick. She's dependent on these people to use her mill. And so I'll get back to what happens in a minute. Micah is deeply, he's at a private school, Micah is deeply offended. He's become aware of this display, which displays a Confederate sword, and the display showing maps and things of the Civil War. This is taken from the news. They're going through a lot of this in the South, taking down monuments and things, but he attends a private school. So the federal government has nothing to do with the school or the state or the city. This is a private company. But he is deeply offended by this display of this Confederacy in his school. So that's his theme for this episode. Charley calls this guy. All right, so Charley, she got to make a quick decision, figure out a way to move forward, because these farmers are not going to give up their farms to mill with her. I'm surprised that she was able to get as far as she could, as she already did, because if the Landrys own the mill and they own the land, I would have thought it would be a given that they would be milling with him. I guess they had been. Charley was doing a new thing, and Landry just put his foot in it. Okay. So she calls Martin Binghamton. Martin Binghamton is a black sheep cousin of the Landrys. She calls them about how they need to do business. She actually needs his business now. She calls him He comes. He's willing to hear her pitch. She shows him around the mill. He's obviously very impressed with her. But he's not only impressed with her, he is attracted to her. It becomes very obvious when he asks her to go to dinner with him, like on a date. Now, the way things are, all the news now is we're seeing how some things are construed as inappropriate for business, sexual harassment. But these are two business people who both own their own businesses. So I don't know who you would complain to. But he wants... Now, he has not cheapened her by saying, you know, you want to play ball, then, you know, lay down with me, something like that. It's not that way. He's just attracted to her, and he's asking her on a date. She says, I'm seeing somebody. He says, really? So soon after you're serious? So soon after your divorce? Apparently, he's been through a divorce. Okay, so he agrees to not talk about personal issues. If she would go to dinner with him, they'll just discuss business. But it's obvious to everyone watching this, I'm sure, that he is attracted to her. Okay, the guy, I think his name is Ren, the drug dealer. I like the way they didn't demonize this man because he sells weed in this. In fact, Nova is a weed seller herself. They used to do business together. They haven't mentioned Nova's in that business anymore. The first couple of episodes they did, she was his supplier. Oh, listen at my dog. He got some kind of thing today. He's been snorkeling like that. Hope he's not in trouble again. Allergic to something. Anyway, stay focused. Okay, so the guy comes around. Nova gives him a necklace, a pearl necklace. She wants him to sell it. Now, I guess this is a gift from, I don't know which man it's from the cop, or is it from Dr. Dubois? Probably from the cop. Jamie. You okay, baby? Oh, God, I got to figure out what's wrong with my baby. All right. She said sell it. But now I can see her selling if she needs the money for something, or, you know, you need to pay her rent. But she said sell it and give the money to this this fee. Jimmy, stop, please. Sit down. He gonna tell somebody to stop being sick. Baby, I gotta stay focused on this. Please leave me alone. Okay. Yeah, for this bail project where they bail these people who can't afford bail, they get arrested on minor offenses. So I don't know what that's all about. Seems to me that if she was not interested in whoever gave her the necklace, if she wasn't interested in him, she didn't need the money, you give it back to him. I wouldn't just sell it and get the money to charity, but that's how she's playing it. This guy invites her to a party. The guy Ren. Neighborhood party. She hasn't been around the neighborhood folks in a while. And yeah, something happens at that party, but I'll get right back to that. Right now, Vi has told Hollywood. Vi has not told Hollywood or anybody else about her condition, that she's been diagnosed with lupus. She doesn't want to be a burden to anyone, but Vi catches Hollywood in her purse. She's in another room. She peeps in and catches him going through her purse. Now, the reason why he's going through her purse is because she's not telling him something, and he suspects something is wrong. He says that a brown paper bag is for when people get these over-counter drugs. Like she said, it was vitamins and stuff like that. But a white paper bag, it means it's a prescription, and he wanted to find out what it was, since she's not capable of being honest with him. And so she tells him. Vi tells Hollywood she's been diagnosed with lupus. He seems pretty devastated by this, taken aback by this, I should say, momentarily. So he takes it all in. He said there's no cure for that. She says no. But it's a manageable disease. She tells him as much. He said he'll be there with her no matter what. But he also insists that she has to tell the family about what's going on with her. She resists that. She don't want to be a burden to anyone. And she doesn't want to be a burden to him because he's went through a situation where he married this girl who was bipolar or I forgot what other disease she had, ended up in institutions, and she didn't want to put him through that again. He says it's nonsense, of course. But he's insisting that she tells that family, and he'll be with her when she does it. Because we both know what happens when people keep secrets in his family. Okay, something that had to happen. He forced her hand. Okay, a woman named Mother Brown. Mother Brown is an older woman. Walks with one of these Southern canes. Cane is gorgeous. Carved canes. Anyways, obviously this woman is like a mother of the community or somebody important in their community, an elder. She comes to visit Nova. She tells Nova that they have been granted a block grant in, I guess she is in touch with the congressman. She's the next step. So I don't know if she's a city council person or something like that. Anyway, she tells, so Nova fought for this grant, for this money. Mother Brown tells her that it's time for her to start thinking about getting involved, more involved. She wants to put her on a, what do you call it? On a task force to spend the money appropriately. So the government gives you a block of money, right? This is for the 9th Ward, which would be that district. And somebody's got to disperse the money. Somebody's got to be in charge of that. And this lady is asking Nova, would she be willing to do that? Nova initially says no, of course. I don't know. Nova has to do things her way. She's not totally. She has to kind of be pushed into different things. And as we saw with Dr. Dubois, she can easily walk away from things as well if she feels like it's not a good fit for her. So initially she says no. She doesn't want to get involved in that way. But I might as well get back to this party. So she going to this party with this guy, this neighborhood guy, Ren. Other people, there's other black activists. Well, everybody's black, but there's an activist woman there who has an attitude about Nova because she saw her on television. Basically, she's jealous, because she was inconvenienced because her. So what if the woman brought up that there could be a problem with Zika? What's she so offended by? Oh, women had to take off work to get tested. So damn what? You missed the afternoon of work. Wouldn't you want to know? Anyway, this woman's got attitude with Nova, and she confronts her at this party, accusing her basically of being a sellout. Now, this woman is so vicious and so bitter and so forward to her. I believe, knowing the amount of movies I've seen through Hollywood or through dramatics, that this woman, maybe there's going to be something going on, but this is just a guess. Something going on between this woman and Nova, because they start in all those movies. They always start off with one person hating the other person. That's the initial encounter, and then they fall in love. So we don't know. It may be that they're going to make Nova just this fluid type personality goes in and out of relationships all the time, and that could be her storyline. Is that she's in and out of all these different relationships. That's the way her mother was. A free spirit, shall we say. Anyway, so the woman confronts her. This is probably going to push Nova to get more involved in that committee. She says, you can't be one of us and be on the committee and all this old bullshit. Anyway, so the very aggressive woman. Let me see. Micah talks. Okay, Micah talks with. Okay, so Micah, he's looking at this display, which is really, really affecting him right about now. And one of his white friends comes over. I guess it's probably predominantly a white school, but there are because they wear these jackets, private school jackets and so forth, blazers, and they're friends. And then Micah asks him, "What do you think about this? Do you think this is good? This is cool?" This guy said, that's the way it is in the South. And that's the truth. The monuments are all over the South about the damn Civil War. Apparently that's changing now. But as I said before, they're in a private school. So they would have to, everyone's going to be encouraging Micah to get involved in the taking down of this monument. So far, Kiki, his girlfriend, and Charley are both encouraging him. What are you going to do about it? Don't talk about it. Do something about it. No cavalry's coming. It's affecting you. It's affecting other black people. Get involved. Okay. Okay, next thing. Martin. No, not Martin yet. Okay, I can skip that part. Basically, she goes to dinner with him, but there's no, she makes it plain that she's not interested in anything but the dinner. I think I said that already. Ralph Angel is still driving around in his truck. Okay. I'm talking faster than I'm writing. Damn, I'm almost through some of this. Okay. All right. So now we get a visit with Darla visits with her mother. So I'm not sure what the situation is. Is the woman staying with someone else or staying in some kind of cottage? It appears that Darla is visiting her mother. So that means the mother is not staying with them then, I guess, because they don't live there. They live in Washington, D.C. So anyway, but it's on a porch and all that. So maybe they've rented a cabin, something like that. But the mother is still in town. Darla goes and visits her mother, tells about the horrible situation going on with Ralph Angel. They have a relationship. Their relationship kind of mended, and it happened kind of pretty good. It wasn't like it was something that the writers just forced on us. They seem to really be getting along well. And I think a primary part of the reason is when the mother first says that they had come to pick her up 9 times, they couldn't find her. 9 times, a lot of times. So we kind of pretty much knew that already. But another lug was dropped because the mother had been clean and sober for 23 years. And she relapsed when Darla was going through this. So Darla never knew she was alcoholic. Darla's only about 23 years old. And some others said when it happened, she was too young. She didn't want to tell her about it. But her mother was clean and sober for 23 years and relapsed behind Darla. So this would make it much easier to understand how she could understand a lot of what Darla's been going through. So by her telling her that, now they have really bonded, because it's not like, it's different when a person who doesn't have a drug problem, never did drugs, they're not going to understand the way a person who's been through it themselves is going to understand. So now they have really bonded. They start playing with the piano or whatever. She says, it's time to start giving Blue lessons. And Darla's course is going through. Her man is missing. And she tells her, well, I think it would be good for Blue to know us as well, this side of the family. And give Ralph some time. So she's not against Ralph Angel. I don't think she's being deceitful at all. She thinks he's a good man and it can work out, but he's going to need time. And while he's getting that time, she wants to spend time with Blue. So I don't know if she's suggesting that Blue comes back with them for a while they sort things out. She didn't say that out front, but that maybe what she's suggesting about these piano lessons, that he would come back and do them with her. Yeah. So Ralph doesn't make a lot of, he doesn't have a very big role in this episode. The next time we see him, Hollywood is carrying him, I should say dragging him through the door. Ralph has been on what they call a bender. Bender where you drink several days. He comes in drunk as a skunk. He has to drag him in the house. Vi is there when he comes through the door. And she wants to know, she don't know what's going on there. And Vi goes into this prayer to God, asking God, whatever this thing is, take it back. Now I'm not totally clear if she means take it back from her situation with this disease, or is she talking about the situation with Ralph, which would cause him to coming in the house like that, where she still doesn't know the details yet, or is it just the whole family? Just take it all back. We don't hear a voice from heaven, but okay, so that was the last scene, but I have to go back a little taste. They talk about Remy. Okay, so Micah tells mother all about this situation with the display. She, just like Kiki, encourages him to do something about it, to get involved. He breaks down and says how much he hates being there. Many times he hates being there, and because he was raised in L.A. Here, I don't think he's just talking about the Ninth Ward or what's the place called, the parish, St. John's Parish or something. I think he's talking about the whole South. He hates being in the South many times because it's bringing up a lot of stuff for him that he hasn't processed about the way they live down there, about the things, the difference between black and white down there. Conversation moves. His mother encourages him, of course. Then the conversation moves to talk about Remy. She tells him about how Remy has brought up the thought of having children, and Michael's okay. Initially, Michael sounds like he said, "Damn, you just got divorced," but Micah comes around. He tells him, "I like Remy. He's a good guy. I do like him. And so what? I have a brother and sister. I like the idea, kind of." Okay, so he accepts that this Remy thing may be serious, but I'm not totally convinced yet. Remy seems to be a very serious type person, and he gets up in her business a lot. Now, so far, it's been mostly good advice, but now we have the element of this man being attracted to her. So we don't know if Remy's advice is coming from a place of jealousy, or just keeping her away from that man, or is it a place of business, which is the way Charley tends to think. Anyway. So he said, yeah, I like Remy. And yeah, he can be my stepfather, basically. This man sent, Bennington sent Charley an expensive bottle of booze, right? Some kind of brandy or something. Something that costs a lot of money. Remy saw it, so he goes off about that man is a Landry, kind of thing. And that might not be the issue at all. The issue might be that man likes her, and he's aware of it, very much aware of it, because his booze apparently is some ancient year that costs a lot of money. Not the kind of thing you usually get in business. He tells her, be careful. Be careful. Be clear about what you're going into this for. All right. So that's basically it. Yeah, it was a good episode. I'm sorry I went on a little too long, but it was a good episode. Poor Ralph, I do feel sorry for him. Even though he's an asshole, I do feel sorry for Ralph Angel, what he's going through right now. And I hope that this never reflects on his relationship with Blue. But something worth acknowledging. All right.